Have you ever wondered how your morning cup of coffee might be affected by global warming? It's a sobering question indeed. Global warming, the long-term increase in Earth's average temperature, has a direct and profound impact on coffee production. It's not just about hotter weather, it's about the intricate balance of nature that these crops rely on. Coffee plants thrive in stable conditions, with temperatures between 60 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit. They need a dry period for the beans to ripen and a rainy period for them to grow. Global warming disrupts this balance by leading to increased evaporation, meaning less water for the plants. It also heightens the risk of diseases and pests, which can decimate coffee crops. Earth's temperature has risen by an average of 0.06 degrees Celsius per decade since 1850. Last year was the warmest year since global records began in 1850 by a wide margin. It was 1.18 degrees centigrade above the 20th century average of 13.9. The 10 warmest years in the historical record have all occurred in the past decade, from 2014 to 2023. That extra heat is driving regional and seasonal temperature extremes, reducing snow cover and sea ice, intensifying heavy rainfall, and changing habitat ranges for plants and animals, expanding some and shrinking others. Coffee trees not exceptional, and a continued rise in temperatures in the tropics is likely. Coffee production can expect ongoing systemic shocks. According to world statistics, the average world production of coffee exceeded 10 million tons, and the total harvested area is over 11 million hectares. Major Arabica regions in the far southeast of Brazil and southwest Ethiopia are amongst the least susceptible regions to climate hazards. The 12 top coffee growers account for about 90% of global production. These include Brazil, Peru, and Mexico in the Americas, Uganda and Ethiopia in Africa, and Vietnam and Indonesia in Southeast Asia. All will be affected with no exception. The global coffee trade depends on two species, Arabica, which makes up about 60% of traded coffee, and Robusta, which makes up the remaining 40%. Coffee production is fragile, and the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change reports indicate that climate change will reduce worldwide yields on average and decrease coffee-suitable land by 2050. According to the literature, climate change impacts influence different ecosystem services and threatens the sustainability of coffee agrosystems, especially Arabica coffee, which is more susceptible to climate variability. Environmental challenges such as the deterioration of soil health, biodiversity conservation, shade trees, flora and fauna, and pollution are serious hazards to ecosystem functioning. Climate change is the most pressing issue in coffee industry, expected to reduce worldwide yield and decrease coffee-suitable land by 2050, and requires timely and effective agronomic changes to reduce the potential risks and ensure the long-term viability of coffee production. Global warming is more than just an environmental issue. It's a matter of livelihoods, economies, and the simple pleasures of life, like enjoying a good cup of coffee or a well-prepared meal. It's affecting coffee, and if left unchecked, its impacts will only intensify. This is a pressing issue, not a distant problem of the future, but a present reality. We are already seeing the effects of global warming on coffee, and the time to act is now. In the end, it's not just about protecting coffee, it's about safeguarding the balance of our ecosystems, our economies, and our way of life. And that, dear listeners, is a cause worth fighting for.